we're here with Adriana and Kotryna on the podcast with Onset Mindset, and today's topic is self-love. Want to explain why we have this spatula?
Oh, right. So you might be wondering why we have a spatula with some cords around it and tape, but we're really trying to make the audio as best as possible. Since in the last episode it was from an iPad, so we're really trying to make the audio as best as possible, and this is not like our final contraption. We're still working on it, and in the future we'll try to do it as best as we can. We're just trying our best.
Yeah. And today's topic is self-love, and we will start off with the meaning of self-love and the dictionary meaning. So the dictionary meaning is that self-love is just taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being for other people. So in our own words, it would just be making sure that you're comfortable in your body and that you love yourself for who you are, even with your flaws. And that we also want to clarify that self-love is not being selfish. We'll go deeper into that, but selfishness is completely different than self-love. Selfishness is more of I'm the best, I'm better than anyone else in this topic, or
I deserve better than other people.
Yeah.
I need to do, like, I don't care about others, I only care about me.
Yeah, or not even I care about others. It's more of like I deserve more than this person because my opinions and my beliefs are better. But the other person might be thinking the same thing, that their beliefs are better than your beliefs. So honestly, the best thing to do is just love yourself, and self-love is so much more different than selfishness, because selfishness is connected to the ego, which ego is defined as the view that the person has of themselves. So an example is that the way you look at yourself. And we'll go deeper into ego in some future podcasts, but
we're probably gonna have a podcast dedicated to just the ego.
Ego is a very crazy thing, and it kind of controls us. If we lose it out of control, it can take over us, and we can lose ourselves, and our ego will take over. So we just want to kind of mention ego in this podcast, because some people might mix up people that are confident and that love themselves into, they might think that those people are just full of themselves and are selfish and are egoistic. So we just want to clarify the difference between self-love and ego in this episode. So do you want to say why self-love is important?
Sure. So self-love is important because it motivates you to make healthy choices. When you hold yourself in high esteem, you're more likely to choose things that nurture your well-being and serve you well. So there's been many psychology studies which have proven that self-love is a very it's very important in battling different mental disorders such as depression and anxiety and just negative emotions in general, because a lot of these mental disorders and these negative emotions we feel are rooted in self-hatred, and that's why self-love is kind of the antidote for you to be overall enjoy your life more and just be happier. And
So that's why during self-love journeys you might start to realize flaws and things that you don't love about yourself and characteristics that you actually might hate, and you start to become harsh on yourself and kind of put yourself down because of those characteristics. And honestly, that's human. We all have things where we put ourselves down for doing a mistake that we did in the past, or something that we thought of even. And when you're putting yourself down, you're doing the complete opposite of self-love. Instead, the fact that you acknowledge that mistake is good, first of all, but with self-love, you acknowledge that mistake and you accept it. So you know that the mistake happened, but you're also supposed to accept it because it was your fault, and it was because of you, like who you are.
Yeah, you can't try to blame the things that you did on something else, not necessarily a person, but just like
on your thoughts.
Yeah, like, or the conditions weren't right. Like, oh, I was feeling moody, or this person was mean to me, so I'm mean to others. Like,
yeah. That's not right. Self-love, it's you can't like, you're supposed to accept it, that you did it. Yes, I did it, and I'm gonna fix that. And that's the whole point of self-love journey, is that you start to accept those mistakes, and instead you make that characteristics a part of you. And if you don't want that characteristic to become a part of you, then you start to work on becoming the better version of yourself. Since you already had that mistake in the past, you know that you won't want to repeat it.
Yeah, it's normal to, if you did something wrong, to feel ashamed. And honestly, it's also kind of healthy to acknowledge when there's, and feel ashamed when you did something wrong. But what's not that healthy is to feel ashamed for like a long period of time. You have to acknowledge what you did, feel shame, whatever, all those negative emotions, and then realize that what happened is already in the past, and there's literally nothing you can do to change it. But what you can do is change how you act in the present, and you can change your future and learn from all your mistakes.
So a summary of what Kotryna wanted to say is just don't dwell on the past. Don't waste your current time, present moment on the past that already happened. You can't do anything about the past. The only thing you can do is the present. And honestly, the only thing that exists is the present. The past is memories, the future is an imagination. So the only moment you're at is the present. And for example, if you're mad at yourself for not working out yesterday, I don't know, or not going on a walk yesterday, then instead of being mad at yourself today, you can go on a walk or work out today, and then tomorrow, at the present moment of tomorrow, you look back on your memory of yesterday and you will be like, yes, I did work out. Yeah. And instead of dwelling on that you didn't work out yesterday, you can do it right now. So that's the whole thing with life. Instead of dwelling that you did that mistake I don't know, a month ago, whenever you did it, or you didn't like the thought that you got, you can fix it in the present moment. So you use the mistakes as fuel to keep you moving and keep you going for the future, and you'll know not to do that again.
Yeah, from your mistakes you learn a lot, and all your mistakes that you have made in the past, or just anything that happened in the past, has shaped you into who you are today. Which is something to be proud of. You don't always have to look at your past and be ashamed of it. I mean, sometimes it's normal, but you should also kind of be grateful in a sense if your experiences taught you a big lesson, because some experiences change us a lot for the better. So you should be proud of who you are right now, because who you were in the past is not the same person that you are right now. You are you right now. And you should be proud of yourself, and you should have confidence.
Yeah, and definitely. And having confidence, as well, as I mentioned, it doesn't mean that you're superior or better than the person that didn't acknowledge that mistake. That person, whoever's next to you that you're looking at and judging, comparing yourself to that person might be on their own self-love journey, just it might come later, or they're already on their self-love journey and you just don't see it. Maybe we don't know other people's stories. So the only story we're supposed to focus on is our own. And that's why we can't let other people put us down and kind of take us out of our own road, you know. We have to believe in ourselves and not judge ourselves for who we are.
Yeah, it's definitely not fair. If you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror, just think, is it really fair to that person that you see to constantly putting them down, or telling them that you're so stupid, or you're so ugly, you can't do this right, you can't. Is it really fair to yourself to be talking to yourself like that?
Would you be talking like that to your mom, to your loved one, whoever you love, to your pet? Would you tell them, oh my god, you're so ugly, I wish you went and ran? Like, would you? No, you wouldn't. Talk to yourself how you would talk to a person that you love.
Yeah.
It's
honestly, if you let's say your mom is feeling down because she doesn't, I don't know, let's say she's learning a new language, and she's beating herself up about it, you'd probably be like, it's okay, just try your best, try to learn as much as you can, put time into. You wouldn't tell her like, oh my god, you're so stupid, why don't you know this language? You know, it's the same concept.
Yeah, literally. You're talk to yourself how you talk to your friend, honestly. And life isn't a competition. That's another thing I want to mention, that life isn't who's the better person in this topic, or who's better looking in compared to this girl, or who's looking healthier. I don't know. Life is, you can't be comparing to another person, because you might be good in, I don't know, arts, and that person might be good in science. And if you look at that person, you'll be like, ah, dang it, I wish I was good in science. I guess I'm not good enough. But that person might be saying the same thing, except they're saying the same thing about art, and then they're not good enough in art. So that's why you can't be comparing yourself to other people, because you're on your own journey, and you gotta be the best version of yourself, of who you can become. If you want to master science, you can, but you can't compare him to you, because you're on a completely different journey,
and you're a completely different person.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
every person is so different in so many ways, and everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. And to be quite frank, you will never be anyone else.
Yeah.
Like no matter how hard you try, you won't ever be able to be someone else. You will only be able to be you.
And life is just all about making sure you feel good in your own body, and just who you are as a person. So for example, you might act completely different in front of your friends because your friends see you as that person, or you're trying to fit into your friends group. So you might put on this mask on of, I don't know, oh, I'm gonna be stupid so I can be funny, you know? And you go in front of your friends and you act stupid so they could laugh, but then you come back home and you're like, geez, what was I doing? Or that's not how you act at home, or that's not what you even believe in at home. So those friends are influencing you to become another person, a person that you don't want to become, or a person maybe that you do want to become, but you're just not there yet. So you just gotta find people that you actually like, and that whenever you're alone at home, you're the same person that you're at alone, same person with friends. You cannot be a completely different person at home than you are with people. So when you are different in front of people, you're just putting on a mask. You're not showing your true self and who you are. And that's why it's very important to find people that will accept you for who you are. And yeah, and our whole podcast is just about trying to discover who you are and what you love, and making sure that you know who you are, you know?
Yeah. And trust us, there's definitely people out there who will accept you, even though if you haven't met them yet. There's somebody for everybody. So if you don't have like people that you really feel comfortable with, first try to just find yourself first, so you can find other people similar to you.
Yeah, that's very similar. And if I go into my own personal life, well, I'll just say a story now, I guess. In 8th, sorry, that's my cats, just in case if anyone's wondering. But from 8th grade until 9th grade, I was very influenced by my friends. I didn't know who I was, and I thought I was the person that I am. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm me, and that's like, I like who I am. But in reality, when I would go home, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Let's go sleep. Hopefully they won't invite me tomorrow. And that sounds like, why would you hang out with them, since it's your own opinion, like option to hang out with them? You just want to hang out with them because you want to look cool, you want to have fun, you want to have friends, blah blah blah. But that's not the point of life.
Yeah.
There was a situation that happened where I lost those friends. We just stopped talking for a reason, and I kind of felt alone. I was like, oh my God, I have no friends. I'm going to the shopping mall alone. I don't want to go alone. That's embarrassing. That's awkward. What? Nonsense. We're always alone. Nonsense. Like, we are individuals. Yeah. Like, we're not connected to other people. We can be alone. It's completely normal to be alone. Yeah. And that just being alone is just... You're not even alone. You have a mind to talk to yourself. Talk to yourself out loud as if you were talking to a friend. That's what I do sometimes, and I'm not scared to admit it, because I know that I'm my own friend, and that's the most important thing for me, is that I am my own friend. I like who I am. And that happened from losing those friends. I just was alone all the time, and I was interested in discovering who I am and like, what do I actually enjoy. I don't enjoy like... I don't know, doing whatever I did before. What I enjoy is doing like yoga, or listening to music in the nature, or sitting next to a river and just living in the present moment. That's what I enjoy. And a couple years ago, I would like laugh at myself the way I am right now and be like, what? You're crazy, hugging trees, doing that. Who are you? You're like out of your mind. But in reality, all I'm doing is trying to connect with Earth and with myself, and maybe with even other people. And honestly, the only thing we should do is just focus on your own body, so that you wouldn't be scared to be alone. Because when you're alone, you think it's loneliness, but in reality, when you're alone, it's just peaceful. You're just with nobody. All you gotta do is just be with yourself. You have nobody to fight with or talk to. Like, I don't know. It's just alone for me. It's just blissful. It's amazing.
Yeah, you don't have any.
Sorry, we'll move the dog.
Yeah, you don't have anything to worry about when you're alone. Like, I remember, like, there was a time where I lost just someone that was very important to me, and I felt like the next few weeks I felt super alone, because that person was a really big part of my life, and they were like just completely cut out of it. And I felt really alone, but I feel like it was necessary to lose someone that kind of distracts you from who you really are. And losing some people can actually be very beneficial, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. So through losing some people, you can actually find yourself and find better opportunities. There's a famous saying, I think. Close the door, open a window. Wait.
Okay.
I don't know. I think my dad told me that. But, or that's I don't know.
Maybe someone will know what you're
I think
referring
Tyler
to.
said it in a song once. But basically, you close the door and a window opens.
Yeah.
Because new opportunities.
Yeah. And honestly, another thing that I want to say is a bit off topic of what Kotryna was saying, but I'll just say an example. So this is more for students. Teachers don't pay attention, or maybe do, I don't know. But when you post a photo of yourself on, sorry, my dog. When you post a photo of yourself on Instagram, do you post it because you like it and how you look like at it? Now this is just a quiz for yourself, think about it. Do you post it because you like it, or do you post it because you want to see if other people will like it and if it will get a lot of likes and comments and will it get a lot of attention? Now, if it's the second option, then you definitely have things to work on. You're posting the Instagram photo just to have validation of other people and just to kind of make sure that other people like what you're doing. So when they're liking what you're doing, you're like, oh yeah, I should continue doing this since they're liking it. But that's not the case. The case should be that you're doing this because you're liking it and not because other people are liking it.
Definitely.
And the whole point of self-love journey is to do it for yourself and not for other people.
Yeah, because in the end, you're the only person that you have. You will never lose yourself. You'll always be there for you.
Yeah.
So love yourself.
Yeah, and some ways to love yourself is by taking care of your body. And by that I'm saying like self-care. I don't know, do a mask, brush your teeth, do your brows, whatever, for girls or even for boys. Honestly, take care of your skin, very important. Also
work out, keep it active. We're human beings, we're meant to be moving. That's what our body was designed for.
At least if you hate moving, hate working out, when you wake up, do some like stretching in the bed, like move out, like move around your
and you're
legs.
doing it for you. It's not for someone else, or you shouldn't feel like, oh, this is so annoying. But think about, like, I'm doing this for me and for my body, to keep it healthy.
Yeah, and even to not only keep it healthy, but to keep my mental health like normal. Like, I will also again say a story. During quarantine, I gained some weight, and I wouldn't be surprised if other people did too, because we're sitting at home munching on food and
inside all day, not really doing anything.
Yeah, we're not even moving. Yeah, so when over this whole quarantine, I actually started to realize that I'm gaining a normal amount of weight, and I started to kind of become upset with my own body. And like for a couple of days I was super upset. I was like, wait, come here. Yeah, Ruby, move. I was becoming super upset with my body, and I was I was just putting myself down that, oh my God, I will never get this body back. And even on my journey of self-love and spiritual journey, I still have these thoughts, negative thoughts that come through my head. It's not always bright side. And when I started to realize that I'm gaining weight, I first didn't take any action. I was like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight, and just continued munching. Oops. Yeah, oops, happens. But then after I started munching, I really felt my mental health deteriorate, and I felt it just worsen. I was in a bad mood. I didn't want to do anything. I had no motivation for nothing. But now I actually found a thing where it's a workout program where I can just work out at home with no equipment, and the videos are all there for you, and I've just found it very motivating just to do it. I'm doing it for myself and for my own mental health sake, and especially that the only reason I'm motivated to do it just so I could feel better. Honestly, I'm not doing it for other people will get to see my beautiful body. No. I'm doing it because I want to feel motivated again and okay and like a human being.
Yeah, when you work out, actually, I learned from my dad that your body absorbs stress hormones. So when you work out, you might feel very good. You might feel very euphoric. That's very beneficial because your muscles absorbed those stress hormones. So working out will actually increase your mood and elevate it, and it'll just make you overall feel better. You feel more alive. I remember last quarantine, I wasn't moving a lot, and I was just eating whatever I wanted to because whatever, no one will see me. But then I don't know, I felt very sluggish. I didn't feel like me anymore. I just felt always so in a bad mood and irritated by everything. And I started working out, and I started taking care of myself. I started doing yoga. I started journaling, reflecting on what I'm thinking. And yeah, it's just when you focus on yourself. Because today you have so many distractions, especially when school is the thing.
School. Sorry, teachers don't mind us. Honestly, school can be a whole different discussion, but school, social media, and just
it's just a very big distraction, and you don't have a lot of time to think. You my head is when school happened. Right now we're on a ski break, but when school is happening, I'm always thinking about different deadlines, different tests, what I did wrong, because I got a bad grade or whatever, and my head is just so flooded with thoughts that I don't have time to focus on myself. So I needed to make time for myself, and that gets very difficult at the end of quarters or before breaks because every teacher is just piling on exams. But we have to try our best to do what we can.
We gotta fight through this.
We gotta fight.
And even during breaks, we think about school. Honestly, there is not a single moment where it's the same with social media and same with anything that is a part of your life daily. You're thinking about it constantly, and even during this break, the break just started, but me and Kotryna already are do you want to get this podcast finished? Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're ahead of it, but we could have been grounding ourselves with the earth instead, but I'm very happy that we have the rest of this break to do that. But yeah, honestly, loving yourself is just working on your imperfections, things that you don't like about yourself. And another way to love yourself is just by talking to yourself. Talk to yourself out loud. I mean, not in your head, but out loud. Talk to yourself as if you're recording a video or talking to a friend or just talking to yourself. I don't know. It really helps you to kind of just not have that many thoughts fly by, since it takes a longer time to speak instead of think.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, you're technically distracted from whatever you're doing and thinking. So another way to love yourself is by just giving yourself a mental health checkup. Just have a journal, and honestly, we'll link in our website link at the bottom after previous podcast, we have a little photo where you can take a journal, take a piece of paper, whatever, and just answer those questions that are in that photo, and you can just question yourself and just find out more about yourself.
Yeah, you might think that, like, why do I have to answer these questions? Like, I already know them. But once you actually start to answer them and you start to write, we start to think about it, there's a lot of things you can realize. One day I did this journal question. I think it was, what is something I take for granted? And I never really thought about it. And I'm writing and I'm realizing I'm taking so much technology for granted. Like, I complain, to myself, I complain that, like, oh, I can't learn this is so difficult, this textbook isn't explaining anything to me, and I never made the connection that I can learn anything I ever want to because I have a computer right in front of me. There's just so many things you take for granted. I take sometimes my time for granted. Like, to me, I'm wasting it. There's not, like, for example, I'm watching something that's not really beneficial for me. Sometimes I'm watching something and I'm even bored. And there's just, journaling can make you think about things and, like, open up. Yeah,
you start to realize things about yourself. And for example, one question that is listed in the photo that will be in the Google site, there is, for example, list 5 simple things that make you happy. Now you might be like, that's easy, but when you think deeper into it, it's like, wait, like, when am I actually happy because I'm happy, not because I'm supposed to be happy? Like, your friends are laughing and, like, oh, I'm supposed to laugh. Ha ha ha, I'm laughing with you guys. But are you happy?
Are you really happy?
Like, are you laughing because it's, like, funny? Or are you laughing because you're just supposed to laugh and that's what you're supposed to do? So these questions will just make you think about life and just think about yourself and just who you are, kind of. And last but not least, find things about yourself to love. Find things that you're slowly start to realize things that you actually enjoy about yourself. Some personality traits or physical traits or, I don't know, mental traits that you like, or, I don't know, something that you do that you enjoy, and slowly start to build up things that you love about yourself. And then the same thing with the opposite thing. So slowly start to build up things that you hate about yourself or that you don't like about yourself. Hate is a very strong word.
Work on them.
Yeah, and work on them. And same with the love things, that whenever you love something about yourself, you're supposed to either love them more or just remember that, oh, I don't like this about myself, but I have this thing to love about myself. And you constantly remind yourself that I am a human, I am not perfect, but I can and will love myself.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah. And anything else to add for today's podcast?
I think that's it. We are running out of time.
Wow. A long podcast, but
hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
With what topic? I don't think we have a topic.
We don't have a topic.
If you're interested in what topic will be next, we will link it in our website. There will be future podcast sections, so there will be the topic and the date that it's going to be released.
And stay tuned because we're going to have better audio.
Yeah,
and camera.
Thank you for your attention today, and if you have lasted this long, I am guessing you want to work on yourself and who you are, and
we believe in you.
Yeah, we believe in you, and we're all in this together. So see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye bye.